Hello, everybody out there in YouTube. We are the Middle Age Guys. We're coming to you again with another video in regards to what we've been playing this week. Let's just go ahead and get the introductions out of the way like we always do. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
And I'm Grey Mouse 1.
What we've been playing this week is exactly that. Basically, a quick rundown of the games that we went ahead and we've been able to go ahead and enjoy while indulging in our most favorite of hobbies, which of course is playing video games. All right, or hanging up belts for theme, depending on what's behind you. All right, but basically, all this is are pretty much our casual conversations about what we played over the week. Just quick thoughts and everything. There's no real reviews or anything like that. And I guess there's a fair spoiler warning for anything that's over, a generation or two old as far as any of the games that we're talking about. We'll try to be mindful for anything that's a little bit newer. But, if we're talking about a game that's like 10 years old, depending on the conversation, we may end up spoiling it. All right. Now, I know one of the reasons why we did this is because we know as middle-aged guys, it's kind of hard to go ahead and go out of our ways to actually indulge in playing games every week. The theme was pretty much under the weather the whole week, and not in a case where it was like he was just feeling kind of loopy. He was pretty much comatose, so he didn't have a lot of chance to go out of his way to play anything. Although he did get a hold of a brand new toy. Whether or not he'll talk about that is something else. But that didn't mean that Grey Mouse and I weren't able to go ahead and go out of our way to play things. So I guess the theme will be doing color commentary.
I saw what you did there.
That last part, not intentional as far as what I'm talking about, okay?
That's why I cracked up when you did.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew
I
what
tried
you
to
did.
hold that laughter in, but I
I was like, I don't know if you knew.
Yeah. Well, these videos are always about good conversation, all right? With that said, Grey Mouse, how many games do you have in front of you today, sir?
I have 3.
All right. I have 5, and you know what? I think I'm going to end up talking about all 5. So let me go ahead and let me start up.
Damn, get that much time.
Well, the thing is that with a lot of these, some of these are revisiting games that I've been playing previously. In fact, majority of them are revisiting that, and other ones are just the games that I happen to go ahead and spend a few hours with that I kind of stumbled back onto over the last few days. Okay, first game that I'm going to talk about is this one right here, Super Dodgeball Brawlers for the Nintendo DS. Okay, now this is actually the newest version of Dodgeball that they put out for any of the portable systems. And if you've seen any of our previous videos or anything like that, you know that I have a very soft spot when it comes to the actual Dodgeball games, all right? However, this is one of the few Dodgeball games that I won't readily suggest people to go out of their way to pick up right away, all right? Reason being is this. Whenever you go ahead and you set up a team in Super Dodgeball Brawlers, they incorporated it where there's like an RPG element to all of the teams, and all of your team members start out at level 0, okay? In fact, you're going to spend a lot of time basically losing a lot, getting your ass kicked mercilessly, all right? By the computer when you're first struggling to get past the first few levels, all right? The problem about this is that if you lose a game, you get no experience, all right? So you either win and you get experience points to go ahead and power your guys up, or if you lose, you're just dead in the water. The only thing you can do is go ahead and continue, all right?
Ouch.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the upside, though. There's like 30 freaking teams on this, all right? And you can go ahead and choose to play any of the 30 teams, all right? And there's, I think, a half dozen hidden teams, okay? The problem is that the teams, when you play against them, they're at whatever arbitrary level that they're at, whether it be 5th level all the way up to 20th level, okay? When you start playing a team and using that team to go ahead and move throughout a circuit or a tournament on this game, they always start at level 0. So it doesn't matter which team you're using, you are going to get your ass kicked mercilessly when you first go ahead and you start playing the game. And yeah, some people are like, but the controls are still there. It's still pretty easy to go ahead and catch and dodge and stuff like that. The problem is that I have a team on here that's like level 4, so I've won a few games already. They're still at the point where their hit points are so low that one regular throw will kill them. All right? It doesn't take a super throw. It's just one regular throw will kill them. All right? And when it like I said, when it's like that, unfortunately, this is one of the few dodgeball games where you cannot sit there, pick up, play, and enjoy everything that it has to offer right off the bat. It's just, it's a grind. All right, you have to grind your team all the way up to level 20 to actually get it to that point. And whether or not you're willing to do that is something else altogether. All right, honestly, myself, I'm not willing to do that. All right, Gray Mouse, what do you have to offer up, sir?
It sounds like that dodgeball game is almost as bad as a JRPG, a grind fest.
It is bad. It is really bad. And the problem is, like I said, is that if you lose, you don't get any experience. At least with like some JRPGs, like strat RPGs. All right, if you're sitting there, you have a character. As long as they participate, they get experience. All right, they can lose the fight, they'll still get experience. All right. With this particular one, it doesn't matter. They have to win. They have to. So.
All right. So. Speaking of JRPGs, I'll probably get a lot of slack about this, but so I put this in my PlayStation 2 here recently, and it's very interesting. So, Final Fantasy VII. What else can be said about it? It was interesting that definitely the graphics does not hold up from back then. I could have swore I thought the graphics were a lot better. I mean, the 3D rendering on the graphics is good, but the characters when they move, I was like, oh my god, I couldn't believe this was cutting edge. But again, PlayStation 1, what do you expect? Polygons. I mean, we had Lara Croft with polygons. You know what I mean? Triangle boobs and stuff. So anyway, yeah. Great game. I picked it up again. I haven't even made it out of Midgar yet because I'm just grinding. But yeah, really, I don't know why I picked it up again. I guess I'm just kind of wanting the remake to be done soon. We haven't heard anything about that in the last 8, 9, 10 months now, something like that. Or it's rumored to be. I think the director got changed, and then after that, it got anyway. It's turning into a development hell, pretty much a black hole. So anyway, so I figured like fuck it. I felt that since I'm waiting, I mean I have the physical copy here, so I'm going to enjoy it, whether it's the remake or I could just plop it into my PlayStation here and play it. I'm not going to get into the specifics of the game because this game's really old and everybody's played it. Aerith dies. But anyway, yeah, so I actually played that.
Spoilers. But
what?
Whatever.
It's 20 years old, man. Over 20 years old.
Yeah, I know. All right. Speaking of
revive her.
You cannot revive her.
People have tried. Phoenix down. Phoenix down.
See, you're about to start a fucking conversation here. That's what I understand. In a world of Phoenix Downs, you mean to tell me that Cloud couldn't Phoenix her down? And
No, her material came out of her body.
That would be plot breaking, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Nobody, no character.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was there when Grey Mouse 1 played this game, and when she first dies, me and him looked at each other, and we laughed so hard because he put nothing on her. Look, I'm a witness. I was like, damn, she received hardly any. Tifa got some respect, but not Aaron.
Oh, it was funny. What was that? What did I say? It's like, good thing I didn't have anything on her.
Yeah. I was just like, wow, okay. Yeah.
And this is before the internet.
Hilarious.
So this is before the internet. So I had no idea. And we were out in the ocean when we were playing.
Yeah, we were underway in the Navy.
That's what I'm saying. I picked this game up.
In the water. And
I picked this game up.
A crowd of people.
Yeah, I picked this game up before we left port. So I had no connection with the outside world. So, I mean, I understand why Reverend. I understand why he hates it, because he was right dead in the middle of everything and people talking about it. I didn't have nobody, so I was like, "What's this game?" Picked it up, threw it in my basket, and then we went to go save the world in the Navy. So I was completely isolated, and then sure enough, the theme was in there, and we looked at each other like, "I'm glad I didn't have anything on there." Because a lot of people lost one of the most powerful freaking accessory. I think it was a ribbon. I think you had a ribbon.
Everything you put on her, you could not get back.
You're done. No, that's my ribbon, and there's no way to get the ribbon again either. So you're screwed. And that's like the most powerful freaking accessory because it knows all the status elements.
And
anyway, I went on too long.
Did not restart the game. He did not start all over. He persevered, and he Weapon X Sephiroth at the end.
Oh yeah, you were there too for that one.
I was there.
Oh, I only slashed the hell out of that motherfucker, man. You killed Aerith. You eyeballed Tifa. No, she's my
eyeball. No, he didn't. He was eyeballing Cloud.
They did have a bro relationship. Okay, let's go ahead, Rev.
Rev, you're next. That's enough of color commentary for now.
Guys are gonna start busting out of talking about some Buster Swords and stuff like that. All right. What's funny is that the next few games I'm gonna talk about are Square games. All right, and they are remakes, reports, or whatnot. I did go back to messing around with Secret of Mana remake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was able to go ahead and play a few more hours to see if the update the big update that they went ahead and they put out actually helped with stability of the game and things like that. The last few hours that I played, I didn't see any sort of crashes or anything like that, but I haven't played far enough in order to get Popoi and the other chick in order to go ahead and to see whether or not the issues with AI during combat have actually been fixed, and the other issues that I know that they said that they went ahead and they that they addressed to see whether or not that's been fixed. Sooner or later, I know Grandmas and I are going to try to sit down and do an actual formal review about this one. That'll probably happen after I spend a little bit more time. And yeah, it's...
Well, I don't mean to take your glory because that's actually one of the games that I played. But I reset everything and I got back to the Four Season Forest with absolutely no problems. The AI was a lot better than it was before. So I mean, it's still they get caught every once in a while, but it's not like where a point to where they get caught on a ledge that they could logically walk around.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain things there are certain issues that I ran into in my previous playthrough that in order for me to see whether or not those have been alleviated, at least I need to sit down with the game and put a few hours with it. All right. That's not to say that I wasn't able to sit down and actually enjoy a Square Enix game, because the other Square Enix game that I sat down and I started playing through was Chrono Trigger, the DS version. All right. Yeah, this one I got a hold of finally. It's the updated version for the DS they did, with all of the cutscenes from the PS1 version, also the 2 extra dungeons and everything else. I'm finally going to try to sit down and play through this, and most likely I'm going to reset everything again so I can start playing this, and start using my VidCap stuff to go ahead and start doing gameplay videos of this. But yeah, definitely one that I'm looking forward to. And the funny thing is that what's funny is that when I started playing this again was last time I heard Steam, they had just sent a big update on that for the Steam version, which a lot of people are still saying, unfortunately, still is not worth the money for, because it's a horrible port of the mobile version, the iOS version. So yeah, it's so yep. If you're somebody who's looking for a way to go out of your way and play Chrono Trigger, the DS version is probably the definitive version. I know a lot of people. I've got the classic versions based off the PlayStation version for PSN. Downloaded on my PS3 and my PS4. That's a good version also, if you don't mind waiting for the game to load every time you do something. And I wish I was exaggerating on that. But literally, everything you do in that game, it loads. It has to load.
There's other games that are worse than that, like Final or what do you call it, King of Fighters?
Yeah. No. Here's the thing with PlayStation. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. The problem is that I think if you were to add up all of the seconds, just going through that. Here's the thing. At least with King of Fighters 94, I don't have to wait for it to load for 2.5 seconds when I open up the pause menu. And that's what, every time you do something, it sits there and has to stop the load. You find a new person to talk to, it has to stop the load, what their dialogue is, all right? You start a fight, everybody jumps out in front of each other, takes out their weapons, and it looks like they're posing, like it's like they're stopping to take some sort of picture, and it's like some sort of fucking Super Sentai showdown, and shit like that.
Hang on right there. Just stay still. Let's start the battle.
Yeah. So, but that's enough commentary about the differences between the Chrono Trigger. What's funny is that now that I think about it, I've got multiple versions of Chrono Trigger. I can actually put together videos with comparing the differences now too. So
Super Nintendo's the best.
Yeah, maybe that's something that'll be done later. All right.
Question.
It's interesting that you said that, because it's probably cheaper to get the DS version than it is to get the Super Nintendo version, because that Super Nintendo version is like $90 now, $80. Well, but the thing was, Chrono Trigger's always been expensive, even when it was brand new. You're paying $20 extra.
I think you can still find these brand new in the cellophane online for about $30.
Yeah, I was gonna say 35, 40. Yeah, you're right. So, but to get the cartridge, oh man, you're.
Yeah.
I'm about to play a game,
so I can actually participate, and I'm going to show you what this game is.
He said play.
I'm playing it. I'm about to play it on the PSP, but I've also played it on the Xbox 360, digital only, and I piggybacked this off the PS3 to got my code on there and put it on my PSP. So without further ado, I'll show you the title of the game.
Oh god.
Cool. Yeah.
I fucking hate that game.
Why?
I've already given
I call it the improbable game.
Oh my god.
Hey, I beat certain levels of this.
That game will make you throw your portable device.
No, it won't. Look, the 360 version, I had a witness. Theory 515 was it here when I actually beat, and he was like, "You motherfucker," and I'm like, "Hey." I just kept playing and playing and playing. There's an achievement on the 360 version. I think you play it for like 100 straight times. I got that achievement. I beat it before I got that achievement. So yeah, I call it the improbable game because I actually beat it.
Toss that out the window.
Gray Mouse, what else do you have, sir?
All right, so since you took my second game, which I knew I had a feeling that you would. My last game that I've been playing is pretty much the same game that I was playing last week. It's Sword Art Online, Lost Song. I have been continuing to play the campaign. It's a typical JRPG / visual novel / there's a lot of slashing in there. It's kind of it could be a hack and slash too, and it's kind of a fighting game as well because you have to punch in certain combinations in order to do the sword skills. But it's a lot of grind, but I've been enjoying it, and especially if you watch it, it's nice to kind of either watch the anime or actually read the light novels. It will actually increases a little bit of the game world around in it. But yeah, it's a good game. I've been enjoying it. There's people that don't like it, but I like it.
Yep. Cool. All right. Okay, I got two games left here. Let me go ahead and try to speed through them as quickly as possible. Steve, if between these two games there's something else you want to go ahead and jump in and play show and tell with, just let me know and interject. All right. First game that I went ahead and I spent some time with that was actually, pleasantly surprised. And the funny thing is that I've had the 3DS version of this game for a while, but this is Rodea, the Sky Soldier. All right, for the Wii U. Now, here's the really, really cool thing about the Wii U version, all right, is that it comes with a copy of the Wii version. So, basically, you get two versions of the game in one package, all right? So, what I ended up doing is I was actually ending up playing this on the Wii, and what it plays like, it plays a lot like a mix between Nights into Dreams and a Wii game called Fling Smash. All right, where a lot of times you go ahead and you point your cursor at something, and in order for you to, if you're within range of that area, after you mark it, you can go ahead and you flick the cursor, and then you'll fly off in that area. And depending on what you're flying into, you can sit there, hit attacks. You can interact with the environment, destroy obstacles, gather things. There's a lot of star gathering, a lot of coin gathering, and everything else. If it's something solid that you can't destroy, you'll go ahead and you'll latch on to the side of it. And yeah, almost all the stages take place on these floating islands, which are just floating out in the sky and everything else. And it pretty much plays out. It's each stage is pretty linear. Where Nights into Dreams, it tends to kind of take a racetrack feel where you kind of loop around through the stage, through a fixed path and things like that. With this one, it's pretty much okay. You start at one end of the stage. There's the other end of the stage, which is really huge, and then there's a whole bunch of other things that you can go ahead and do as far as like subquests and subplots and other things in other areas within the stage itself that you can unlock while you're en route to the end. So it's actually pretty interesting. It's not exactly what I was expecting. I was honestly expecting something that was actually more of a JRPG, but with what I have here, it's pretty entertaining. I'm just really kind of curious about how different the 3DS and the Wii U version is in comparison to the Wii version on this one. So, but yeah, Rodeo the Sky Soldier. This one was another one that I got for really, really cheap. I think I know I got this one sealed, brand new in the cellophane, and I think it was only like $23 on Amazon or something like that when I got it brand new.
Wait,
so,
you said it was on the 3DS?
Yeah, it's on the 3DS also. Yeah. Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Any one of you guys want to go ahead and jump in before I go ahead and do my last one?
I could do one real quick. The
Sure.
continuation of the MMORPG. Still playing Guild Wars. I try to at least log in at least at least twice a week, just to play it some more. Currently, right now, they're having a thing called a Super Adventure Box, and what they do is they put a 8-bit that was heavily influenced by Nintendo into a 3D environment, and it's kind of like a platformer. I mean, your character or whatever is in an 8-bit world with 8-bit music, and it's heavily influenced by pretty much the developers of Guild Wars 2 are 80s kids that were Nintendo.
Yeah.
And so a lot of their inspiration was drawn through 8-bit gaming. So yeah, I've been playing that. Definitely Guild Wars 2. I keep mentioning it. It's a great game. If you play it a lot, I could see it getting it gets old, but it's one of it's typical MMO type thing. So yeah. Anyway, back to you there, Rev or Theme.
Go ahead, Theme.
This is one of those other games that when I saw this at the PlayStation Store way back in the day, I was like, yoink! And then I piggybacked it on my PSP.
Raiden Project, yeah, awesome.
Raiden 2 is one of those games that proudly deserves to be in any Shooter's Hall of Fame. Just Raiden. I mean, the first Raiden game was on systems like the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, even the TurboGrafx 16. But Raiden 2, Raiden freaking 2, man, that didn't go to anything except for the PlayStation with the Raiden Project. And that is one of the only Raiden games that is not emulated properly on things like MAME or like Final Burn Alpha, emulators out there.
Why is it so? Because they just can't emulate it properly?
Don't know why, but Raiden 2 is one of those games that is like messed up. It's just not emulated properly on any emulator out there. So as far as me having a Raiden Project, yes, I still have the physical copy for the PlayStation, and I have it on my PSP because I bought it, and then I just stuck it on here. So I'm like, I want to play Raiden on the go. Yeah.
You have Raiden 5 too, don't you?
Oh, hell yeah, I have Raiden 5.
Yeah,
but Raiden 2...
back here. I can't find it at this moment, but...
Yeah, I have my Raiden 5 right here.
I really enjoyed that one.
Oh,
I need to
Raiden
get
5?
back to Raiden 5. Yeah, I need to get back into those shooters again, man.
That's why I just turned this on. I was like, let me play some Raiden 2. can't use
Cool.
my stick, but
I mean, you're still able to play the game, which is pretty much what counts. So,
yeah.
yep. All right. Let me go ahead and wrap this one up then. Okay, the last game that I've been playing, basically I've been playing on both the PS4 and also on Steam, was pretty much this. Shantae, Half Genie Hero, okay?
That is so underrated, man.
Yeah, the Shantae games are a great set of action platform games. You know, adventure platforming games and everything else. Shantae Half Genie Hero. Basically, the folks at WayForward over the last week they released a few new. Let's see here, costumes and add-on modes for both the PlayStation 4 and the Steam version. Because I was one of the backers of this game. I get notifications and the updates are free to me and everything else. It's one of the ways that they went ahead. They went out of their way to thank their loyal backers and all of that. Yeah, I've been going back and I've been messing around with the brand new, like the Friends Forever mode. They've got the hardcore mode, the hero mode. Let's see here, the Pirate Queen mode, where you go out and you play Risky Boots, who's been her nemesis ever since I think the second Shantae game. You know, there's a whole bunch of extra stuff that they went ahead. They've finally gotten around to. They went ahead and they've released out. I mean, this game has been out for a while. This particular copy that I have is still in the cellophane. But like I said, when because I had backed the game, I had actually gotten a hold of. Originally, they were going to put out a PS3 version, but they decided to cancel it. So they're like, "All right, if you want a refund for it, we completely understand. But if you want to go ahead and get it for another platform, just let us know, and we'll go ahead and we'll give it to you." They're like, regardless of whether or not you want a refund or you want it for another platform, guess what? We'll give you the Steam keys for free, which is really fucking cool because as far as Kickstarter kits and stuff goes, they really weren't required to do that at all. So it's also another reason why, whenever I see a lot of stuff that's made by these guys here at WayForward, I go out of my way to actually support them. Mighty Switch Force is another one by them, and they've got a few other games that are out there.
That's pretty cool that they are actually willing to do that.
Yeah, it is really cool. And the funny thing is that, as far as it goes, this is the fourth one in the actual line of games.
Yeah.
And they weren't sure whether or not they were actually going to go ahead and actually put this one out. That's the reason why they went ahead and did the Kickstarter campaign. I will say that as far as everything goes, this probably isn't the best one out of the series, though. It does have the most modes, but it's not the best one out of the series. If you are going to go out of your way to play all the Shantae games, this is definitely a great start. But the one that I would say I would kill to have a PS4, a limited run hard copy of for the PS4 is the one before this, which is the Pirate's Curse, Shantae of the Pirate's Curse. That one is fucking awesome. All right, I passed this one and the Pirate's Curse, and the Pirate's Curse when you get toward the end, especially some of the platforming sections, are insane as far as the level of challenge for it. So, that's pretty much what we've been playing this week. Or with in the Thieves case, he spent the week recuperating, but he was able to go ahead and comment and follow along. Which is always a happy thing. That's each time we go ahead and we do these videos, it's all about good conversation. All right. In continuance of that conversation, what we want to know, folks, is what have you been playing, or if there's any games you want us to go out of our way to check out, you can go ahead and tell us. by leaving a comment below. If you're so kind, if you really liked this video, or if you didn't like it, you can go ahead and mark this video like or unlike, whichever way. Regardless, thank you very much for going ahead and watching the video all the way up until this point. And if you're really interested in sticking around and seeing what else we go ahead and we drop out and we release out as the middle-aged guys or as either one of us individually, I do suggest that you go ahead and you subscribe to these channels and turn on those notifications, and you'll know whenever a new video comes out from any one of us. With all of that, that's what the fuck we've been playing this week. I'm the Reverend.
The theme here.
And I'm Gray Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and gaming, and trying to survive bullet hells on portables and shit, and not trying to throw this thing. Damn it. Love this game. But couldn't play it when I was just almost comatose being sick. Credits.